Imagine this. You just spent 5 grinding years of your life building a digital empire from absolute scratch. You performed in the empty basements. You cracked the algorithm. You finally made it to the top. You're raking in millions. You have massive corporate sponsors. And tonight, you're launching a brand new, unfiltered live talent show. The cameras are rolling. The crowd is hyped. Sitting right next to you on the judges' panel is your childhood best friend. A contestant steps up to the mic. Your friend leans forward to make a joke, but he doesn't just cross the line, he completely nukes it. What he says isn't just a bad joke, it's radioactive. The kind of comment that makes lawyers start drafting lawsuits before the audience even stops clapping. Within 12 hours, a famous self-help podcaster finds the clip. He posts a massive thread ripping you apart, calling your show a symptom of cultural decay. The algorithm smells blood in the water. The clip skyrockets past 10 million views. By the next morning, the financial slaughter begins. Your phone rings, it's your manager. A massive energy drink company just ripped up your $500,000 contract. 30 minutes later, a tech brand bails. Then, the legal notices hit the inbox. A defamation lawsuit, a criminal complaint lodged by an activist group. In exactly 48 hours, an empire that took 5 years to build is completely paralyzed. Arena tours are scrapped. Ad revenue drops to zero. And the craziest part? You didn't even say the words that destroyed your business. You just handed a live microphone to the wrong guy. When the internet turns on you, they don't just want a scripted apology video. They want to see you ruined. They want your bank account empty. But what happens when the cancel mob goes after a guy who actually understands the ruthless mechanics of money? What happens when a creator realizes they don't actually need corporate sponsors to survive? In this video, we are going to look at how an 8-second joke almost cost millions, and the cold-blooded financial strategy this comedian used to fund the most viral comeback in internet history, the cancel-proof playbook. How to buy your way out of a crisis. Chapter 1. The sponsor trap. To understand this epic comeback, we have to look at the exact moment the empire collapsed. When the controversy went nuclear, that self-help guru who shared the clip knew exactly what he was doing. On the internet, outrage is a business model. By painting this comedian as toxic, the guru was silently screaming to corporate sponsors, "Hey, move your advertising budget over to my safe, positive podcast instead," and it worked flawlessly. The brands hit the panic button and ran. For 99% of creators, this is a permanent death sentence because most digital stars live in a financial house of cards. They make millions, sure, but they blow it on massive mansions, luxury cars, and designer watches to flex on Instagram. They rely entirely on next month's brand deal just to pay this month's mortgage. If the sponsors leave, I lose the house. This is called the sponsor trap. When you need corporate money to survive, you don't actually own your company. The brands own you. And the second the internet gets angry, those brands will throw you to the wolves to protect their own profit margins. Chapter 2. The few war chest. But this comedian was playing a totally different game. While other influencers were buying Lamborghinis, he was quietly hoarding cash and buying hard assets. When his PR team walked into his office and told him he just lost over $1 million in sponsorships, they expected him to panic. They handed him a scripted, tearful apology video and begged him to post it. He looked at the apology script. Then, he looked at his balance sheet. He had built a massive financial moat. He had millions stashed in low-risk index funds and treasury bills. He owned his cameras and production gear outright. He had zero bad debt. He had what the finance world calls FU money. He realized something incredibly powerful. The internet can take away your sponsors, but they cannot take away your equity. So, he fired the crisis PR firm. He threw the fake apology script in the trash. Instead, he went completely dark. He stopped posting. He let the internet scream. He let the self-help guru take a victory lap. And while the world thought he was hiding in defeat, He was actually weaponizing his capital. Chapter 3. Doubling down. If you want to survive a crisis, you have to own the infrastructure. The comedian took his own cash reserves and pulled off a brilliant financial pivot. Since comedy clubs were terrified to host his live shows because of the backlash, he stopped asking for permission. He took his investment dividends, leased a private warehouse, and built his own high-end studio. He didn't pitch the show to any new sponsors. He didn't ask a streaming network for a deal. He decided to pay for the entire production out of his own pocket. This is the ultimate superpower of liquid wealth. It buys you the absolute ability to say no. 6 months after the internet declared his career over, a notification popped up on millions of phones. The comedian was going live. He didn't just bring the show back. He doubled down. The production value was massive. And sitting right next to him on the judges' panel, grinning at the camera, was the exact same childhood friend who had caused the massive controversy in the first place. The internet absolutely lost its mind. Chapter 4. Printing money from Outrage. Everyone clicked. The loyal fans tuned in to support him. The haters tuned in hoping to watch him crash and burn. The self-help gurus tuned in so they could complain about it on Twitter. The premiere episode didn't just get 10 million views. It shattered streaming records. It was a cultural event. But here is the absolute financial genius of the comeback. Because the comedian self-funded the show, he owned 100% of the intellectual property. He wasn't giving a cut to a network. He didn't have to apologize to a nervous energy drink sponsor. He turned the show into a direct-to-consumer cash cow. He launched a private, paid community. He sold out his own independent merch line in hours. The massive controversy, the thing that was supposed to destroy his life, ended up being the greatest free marketing campaign he could have ever asked for. The haters watched the show just to be angry, and the YouTube algorithm took their hate watches and monetized them, depositing the ad revenue straight into the comedian's bank account. He literally turned outrage into equity. Conclusion: the ultimate insurance policy. The digital world is brutal. Today, you're the king of the internet. Tomorrow, a 10-second out-of-context clip can make you public enemy number 1. Society will tell you that the best way to survive cancel culture is to be flawless, to never make a mistake, to carefully script every single word that comes out of your mouth. But that's a lie. Nobody is perfect. The only true defense against the mob isn't an apology. It's absolute financial independence. If you live paycheck to paycheck, or if your entire business relies on keeping corporate sponsors happy, you are wearing a leash. The moment you step out of line, they will yank it. But if you keep your overhead low, if you hoard liquid cash, and if you build a financial moat around your life, the rules simply don't apply to you anymore. Money doesn't just buy nice things. It buys immunity. It buys the bricks to build your own stage when the world tries to lock you out of the theater. If this breakdown changed the way you look at internet controversies and the power of money, hit the subscribe button. And I want to hear from you in the comments. When a creator gets canceled, should they apologize or should they just build their own platform? Let's talk about it. I'll see you in the next one.